Nick and Gia.
In today's video, we're going to be telling you all about how we went from Southeast Asia to South America for free.
In the past year, we've been traveling around as digital nomads. We just left Southeast Asia and we traveled around there for a few months, and we're currently in Istanbul, headed to South America. And honestly, all of this couldn't have been possible without credit cards.
It sounds like we're just loading up on debt. And no, we don't mean that we're loading up on debt to afford our travels around the world. What we really mean is that we took full advantage of sign-up bonuses for certain travel-themed credit cards, and we're using those perks to fund our travels and really make the most out of every dollar we spend. We achieved this primarily through two credit cards, both from Chase. Gia went with the Chase Sapphire Preferred, and I got the Chase Sapphire Reserve. In this video, we're going to be talking about them both, as well as telling you guys a few other options if Chase isn't right for you, because I know that every few months the different major companies will cycle through deals. So when we applied, Chase was the best deal, but maybe when you're going to apply or when you're watching this video, Capital One or a different company will have a better deal for you. Before we get too far into the video, we just want to preface everything by saying we're not giving you any financial advice, just saying what we did and how it was able to help us as we traveled the world. Before you make any financial decision or decide to open up a credit card, make sure to do your own research and make sure it suits your individual situation.
Nick and Gia are the reason that I'm in debt! I decided to go with the Chase Sapphire Preferred card because it's a pretty easy entry-level credit card to get into. The annual fee is pretty low at $95 per year, and it does charge you as soon as you get approved for the credit card. But it is all made back after you get the bonus. So when we were signing up for the credit card, they were offering a 60,000 point bonus after you spent $4,000 within the first 3 months. The 60,000 points also translates roughly into $750 US, and you can use that by spending it on flights, which is what we've decided to do. So within the first 3 months, we were buying Airbnbs, we were buying flights, we were buying a whole lot of big purchases within those first 3 months so that we could get the 60,000 points. And if you're traveling around as a digital nomad, hitting the $4,000 minimum purchases within the 3 months is pretty easy because you are buying Airbnbs, you're looking at flights, and everything is cheaper when you do it in advance. So just book them all at the same time.
Right, and then just by planning ahead, like you might have 2 crazy months like we did. We had 2 very expensive months, but then we haven't paid rent in like 7 months now. So like when it was, I think it was Gia's month, I think we spent like $4.5 grand. But with that, we got like 8 months of rent, all of our flights. I think we booked buses, we booked like a couple of small tours that we did. As digital nomads, like a lot of your expenses are very easy to plan in advance and to book in advance compared to the US. So while like your average monthly expenses will be astronomically lower traveling, especially if you're in Asia or South America. For example, if you were living in a place like Chicago, the cost of living is way higher, but you're not really spending $4K discretionary, and most landlords aren't going to let you put your rent on a credit card. But Airbnb has no problems with credit cards, and honestly, I would highly recommend only buying Airbnbs on credit cards so that you have more ways to get your money back should you get scammed.
Immediately after you reach the $4,000 that you need to spend, you immediately receive the 60,000 points. The nicest thing about this credit card is that it also doesn't have foreign transaction fees. At first, when we were traveling, I didn't have this credit card and I was paying a whole lot in the transaction fees. Anytime that we were ordering food, anytime that we were doing anything even small, I was getting a fee from it.
And those 20-cent fees really do add up if you're making 25 of them per week. It just becomes an unnecessary expense that's more frustrating more than anything else.
Another great thing is that this credit card also offers you a 10% bonus based off of how much you spend with the credit card each year.
I decided to go with the Chase Sapphire Reserve instead of the Preferred just because there was a lot of additional perks, and a lot of those perks were able to be shared between 2 people. It made the most sense for one of us to get the expensive one and one of us to get the cheaper one, just to really maximize the benefits and value that each of these credit cards brought. The annual fee for the Chase Sapphire Reserve is honestly very high. It's $550 US per year, which sounds super steep. But you have to keep in mind that they do give you a $300 annual travel credit. So the first $300 that you spend on travel every single year will be comped by Chase. So in actuality, that brings down your annual fee down to $250. Additionally, the sign-up bonus for mine was a little bit higher than Gia's. I ended up getting about $900 US worth of free flights, as well as unlimited access to priority pass lounges, which honestly has been the nicest part of being digital nomads.
The favorite part, the best part, the Piece to resistance. The food is so good in the lounges. Hey, if you're ever looking to get a travel friend a gift, also look into getting them a Priority Pass membership for a year. The lounges make travel so nice.
Yeah, and the best part about the Priority Pass that Chase gives you, and I think any Priority Pass, is that you can take a friend absolutely free. So that's the biggest reason why Gia didn't need to pay extra to get the more expensive card, because she could go use the lounges using my card as well. So we could just both go and enjoy the lounges. And we do that every time we go to the airport. It's taken all of like the chore of going to the airport totally out of the equation. We just go, you can get like really nice lattes, food, wine, beer, really anything you want.
All for free.
Right. And then each airport, depending on what country you're in, will have different food. And a lot of times it'll be like a buffet style, and they will be serving just different foods from whatever culture you're in. Another major benefit that the Reserve gives you that the Preferred does not is free TSA PreCheck and global entry. Now, we don't use that because it only works for the card holder, and since Gia doesn't have it, it's kind of pointless. Like, why would I go through the express line and make her stand with the pores? But no, so we don't use that at all. I haven't signed up for it. But if you're a solo traveler, that's a great option because it's super, super convenient. I've used PreCheck in the past before, and it's fantastic. And then the final big perk that honestly saves me quite a bit of money each month is that it gives you excellent travel insurance. So Gia every month pays for safety wing travel insurance. I know this video just sounds like a massive ad, but Gia pays every month for travel insurance, and I don't have to because Chase will reimburse you up to, I think, $100,000 of medical expenses if you have a rental car, which we don't, and I probably never will. They'll reimburse you with that. They'll reimburse you if you lose your luggage, if things are stolen. It's honestly been fantastic. They also offer incredible theft protection and a 24/7 hotline, which we put to use about a week after we got the card. When we went to Tokyo, we went to this restaurant and we sat down, looked at the menu, ordered our food. Then they wouldn't give us our food and they tried to just scam us out of money, essentially. We've made a video about that in the past. But I contacted Chase because like all these workers surrounded me and they like demanded my credit card. And the only way out of the situation was to pay, and Chase just took the fee off. No questions asked. I just called up the hotline. Hey, I got scammed, blah, blah, blah. They took it off that minute, which is really nice because, you know, Japan is, 14 hours ahead of the U.S.? So it was like, I guess, like 4 in the morning U.S. time or 2 in the morning, and they resolved it immediately. And so that was fantastic. And the time it took for us to walk from, like, Shinjuku Station to the bus stop, it was fully resolved, which was honestly perfect. And is a major reason why I would recommend banking with Chase, even if you don't want to go for a credit card. And to wrap things up, we touched on it a bit in the beginning of the video, but we're going to reiterate it again. Nothing in this video was sponsored, and we're not getting compensated in any way whatsoever. We were just wanting to share some of the things that we've done, some tips and tricks that we've learned on the road as digital nomads that can make travel a little bit more affordable for you. Because I think that if these tips and tricks were more widely known, I think probably more people would be able to travel. And we've saved thousands of dollars by being able to do this. Honestly, it's why we were able to fit in a month in Paris as our next location, because my credit card paid for us to go from Vietnam to Istanbul, and Gia's credit card is taking care of our trip from Paris to Buenos Aires. We were able to travel from 2 completely opposite sides of the world for basically a €40 flight to Paris. So I think that's an incredible deal, and you really couldn't ask for more than that.
If you found this video helpful and you have an interest in joining one of the Chase Sapphire cards, whether it's the Preferred or the Reserved, we put our referral links in the description for you.
But we'd also recommend that before you make any decisions with which travel card you want to go with, make sure to check out all of the different deals that the competitive cards are going to be offering, because it really does fluctuate throughout the year. So while Chase worked out best for us, there might be somebody else that's offering a better deal at the moment. So make sure you do your own research before you sign up for anything.